Alrighty, homeboys, we are back. And we got some more Fire Emblem Heroes content today. So we got the announcement in the Fate channel the other night, or not really the other night, a couple of hours ago, that we're going to be getting an expansion of the exchangeable heroes in Binding Worlds. So what this means is they're going to be adding a new set of characters that we can purchase in here with the Binding World Formas. So prior to this update, it was going to be only heroes available up until Book 4 were the ones that you could add as a Forma sold unit with the Binding World Forma. In this update for Book 8, they've gone ahead and raised the cap all the way up to the end of Book 5 now. So what we're going to do is show off a couple of characters that may be worth looking into investing a Binding World Forma in, and I'm going to show off some builds and all that good stuff for them. Let's just quickly show here. So Fallen Edelgard, Fallen Dum Dum is available for purchase as a Binding World Forma now. Hopefully this means her ass is going to get out of Hero Rises event this year. People are going to stop stuffing votes for this dumb character, and now we're going to be free at last of the Fallen Edelgard. So I hope that's what this means, and this allowing her, and also like Fallen Dimitri and other Three Houses characters that people really wanted, are going to be out of Hero Rises, and now you just pick her up with the Binding World Forma and get her in there with the skills you want and all that good stuff. So let's stop beating around the bush. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So this is the lineup of characters that were added. It starts with Reginn, who was the freebie from Book 5, and it's going to go all the way down, and it ends with Thor and also Atri, who are the end of Book 5. So we scroll, all of these lovely units are going to be available for purchase, and here we go, this is the end. So Atri and Thor, and then Ash was the beginning of Book 6. So pretty much everything we just scrolled through there, I went ahead and just singled out the units that stood out to me the most. So we're going to start with Reginn, best girl, best muffin. I still consider her to be the best offensive Astromythic hero, which is kind of strange considering she was from Book 5 and we're already on Book 8. So it's been like 3 years. But I find her more useful in terms of utility than units like Satyr and Hater. Mainly because she's got that Canto 3. She can reposition an ally and then move back in. She also has, of course, access to Canto 3, so she's really good at hit and run. She has Satyr Shell, which pre-charges and then does a fixed amount of damage. So it can be nice for breaking through some tanks and just doing a lot of damage and then getting her out of the way. So the hit and run power of this character I really enjoy. This is the set of skills that I like running on her. So Flared Sparrow, of course, just set up the flame tiles, really nice for hit and run. So you block out their ranged units from trying to chase after you. And then it's really good also in AR for hiding behind the safety fence. So Flared Sparrow's really good. Wings of Mercy 4 is actually really nice on her. There's other options you could go for, like Flow Refresh 4 for player phasing, Lull Speed and Defense 4 for DPS, but I think Wings of Mercy 4 in the strict area of Aether Raid's offense is probably her best bet, because it lets her warp to an ally on low HP within 2 spaces of them. So you can then hit something and then Canto yourself out of the way. Insight was a really nice pickup for these cavalry types, because a lot of units that wanted to run alarm attack speed or alarm attack defense, some of them had Canto built in already, so they were just like wasting a skill on alarm just to get the stats and not really caring about the Canto. Insight, on the other hand, is giving them the Insight status effect, which is another status effect you could possibly use for Prime 4. And then it's also giving them all stats of 3 from the status, depending on how many spaces they move. So prime skill here for your cavalry types, both ranged and melee types alike, as long as the melee types don't have Canto somewhere that they would want to have alarm. I've got Deathblow Echo here. This is a new thing that you can do with the formas from this mode here. So they show on Mr. Never Refine here. They've got the Deathblow Echo seal on him, or Deathblow Echo passive on him. So Echo skills are going to be available as well now for pickup on these Binding World Formas. However, you have to be very cautious, because if we run Deathblow Echo on Reginn, we're not able to run Satyr Shell, which is one of her more unique tools. It pre-charges and it does a lot of damage. So you're going to have to be the one to make the call on this one in particular. Would you rather go for Deathblow? Some people like to run Gale Force on her, so in which case you wouldn't need Satyr Shell in the first place. You know, to be honest, like, you might as well just pick up a Reginn with Deathblow Echo and get like a different special. Not that you're ever going to like have to run anything on her besides Satyr Shell, but just to pick up Deathblow Echo because it's rare. And this is the same thing we do with the Form of Souls in Hall of Forms, where we're picking up a lot of rare skills on the character, not even necessarily because we plan to use them, but just because they're rare skills and it's nice to pick them up. So there you guys go for Reginn there. Then we have the Christmas Bernadetta. She is still one of the only units in the game that is able to chip your HP for your whole party. So her and the Bunny Bernie are 2 units that do that, and that gives her a lot of value for setting up your other allies with reciprocal aid and things like that, so you can enable degenerate strats. She ate really well, as did all of the Cavalry Tome types with the Gulveig and Kvaser banner. We literally got a full kit of passives on that banner that are premier fodder for all your Tome Cavalry types. So Flared Sparrow, Occultist Strike, and Insight Attack Speed. Also, Fleeting Echo gives DR there, so like, my god, these Cavalry Tome types are on another level after that Gulveig and Kvaser banner. So again, the reason you would pick her up is for the chip damage there. Very nice unit if you don't have a copy of her already. Then we've got the Winter Hilda, who is a seasonal 4-star demote. So you could get her to +10 technically, but it does cost a little bit of orbs. Not as much as a 5-star +10, but if you get lucky, you can spend like maybe around 200 to 300 orbs and get this unit to +10, which would be a pretty worthy investment with the Binding World Forma. So here are some skills you can give her. I prefer Arcane Chang on her, honestly, like over Arcane Lewin. Even though she does make good use of Lewin, she has a workable speed stat. The Chang combo with Hardy Fighter is just really nice. You can also go Savvy Fighter as well if you want to get a null follow-up on her, because she does have the speed to make use of Savvy Fighter. But I think Hardy Fighter and Bacon combo is a little better. Now, you can't run Bacon with Near Save because Bacon and Flow only work against ranged enemies. But again, like we said with Reginn, it's nice to just pick up these rare skills that are really good for your units, because even if you're not going to run them on the finalized build, it does give you more options in the tank later if you plan to change the build. So Armored Bacon here, but really what you would want to go for on a build like this is Pavis. So here you go for Winter Hilda. We've got the Winter Felix as well here. Now this time we'll go for the speed build. We'll show off Savvy Fighter 4 here for a fast armor type. The reason why is because he unfortunately can't run Hardy Fighter as a range type unit, but it is what it is. It's fine. You could also go Special Spiral 4 on him too if you want to do the thing where you loop Armored Bacon over and over again and nullify enemy DR. It's a very effective strat to run against a lot of the ranged tanks that are going around right now, especially with Fleeting Echo being a thing where ranged units are just getting so much DR out of nowhere now. So like Gulveig, Kvaser, we got the Wind Tribe Claude, we've got Brave Marianne after her refine. These are units that are getting upwards of 70% DR on initiation. But otherwise, they are glass cannons. So if you've got Special Spiral 4 to turn off the DR, then that could really clap those ranged threats really bad, and they're not going to be able to protect themselves as well. And plus, they're probably not going to be able to delete you in one shot, because you've got Armored Bacon and Flow for your own protection there, non-pierceable DR. So that could be an option too. All right, we have Dorothea over here, the Harmonic Dorothea. There was another dancer that showed up, the New Year Peony, but I feel like most people already have a copy of her, and she's not necessarily a difficult unit to build either. Like, just giving her Wings of Mercy 3, giving her Joint Drive Attack, which she defaults with, and then her ace skill is completely irrelevant because she's never going to fight. That alone is enough. That's your one copy of Duo Peony that should be enough to suffice, but there are some cool things you can do with Dorothea. So Arcane Eclipse is an option, and that allows us to pre-charge Ruptured Sky, so she might be able to blow something up in a fight if she needs to in an emergency. Ruptured Sky would be the choice of special here because it pre-charges. Her own weapon is okay. It's got Omni Chill, but like, do you want Omni Chill, or would you rather just go ahead and get nuking potential with a unit here, which is always good for summoner duels? Flared Sparrow, of course, for the damage, and then Firestorm Dance and Soaring Guidance is what I went with. Rock Slide Dance could also be an option if you want dodge on demand instead of desperation on demand, but I decided to go for Firestorm Dance 3 here instead. It's a little bit more unique with the desperation effect, giving more player phase potential to the ally you danced on, and it also combos really good with Brave Attack weapons like For example, Legendary Shez, who you can double dance with this unit, given their harmonic skill works on her. And then Oath Echo, the skill of choice for the Echo skill, because warping and then allowing allies to warp with you. So like Oath Echo and Soaring Guidance or Guidance 4 just combos really nicely. You could also go for Fleeting Echo if you wanted to, but this unit is not really going to try to fight, so I would save that for another time. Alright, we got the Raphael as well. This one is the Plegian Raphael, so he's another armored unit. This time we are showing off the Special Spiral 4 and Bacon combo. He's got better defense than Rez, so you want to get Armored Bacon if he's available with it in the Binding Worlds. And then Deathblow Echo, it's the only Echo that he can run, and I guess the extra DPS is fine. Alright, Toga Alfonse, again with the Special Spiral 4 Bacon combo. He's got Arcane Caliburnus, though, which it works out fine with Special Spiral 4, but it doesn't play too nice with Vengeful Fighter 4 or Special Spiral or Special Fighter 4, because a lot of the effects are redundant between Caliburnus and those two skills, like the Guaranteed Follow-Up and the Acceleration. So Spiral 4 actually is okay with Caliburnus, surprisingly. And then again, Deathblow Echo. Fire Flood Boost gives Guard and then Attack and Res, which is nice. Okay, here is a unit that really shot up in value after the Gulveig banner. Like we said with Bernadetta, these Tome Cavalry types really ate well off of that banner. So, Flared Sparrow, Occultist Strike, Insight Attack Speed, Fleeting Echo. We got Ruptured Sky there. Arcane Euphoria, really good Arcane Tome there. She is available in the Grail Shop, so if you wanted to free-to-play plus 10 her, it's possible. And with a build like this, she would be putting in a lot of work. So, Veronica fans, rejoice. Alright, we got Dagger as well. Now, it's hard to say what Dagger's remix is going to do, because also her B skill will get remixed. She's going to get level 2 of whatever her B skill was called. Sun Twin Wing, I think it was. So, when that happens, I don't really know like what B skill she's going to want. If she's going to prefer to have that or Physical Null Follow-Up. But as things stand right now, Physical Null Follow-Up is just better than Sun Twin Wing. So, that's what you would want to go for at the moment. Godlike Reflexes works out pretty good. She has -1 special trigger, and then we're getting double effects here. We got Pledge and Echo to get Warping and Special Acceleration on hit. And because she's a light season mythic hero, you're probably going to have Asker around as well. So that's an easy 4 bonuses to get Prime 4 to activate. Her weapon is pretty good still, honestly. It's got the same effect as Fallen Ike, where she powers up based on debuffs. So the more debuffs she eats, the better she's going to be. And the infantry school is a prime defensive structure. So this is a unit that can still cook pretty good. And the Pathfinder support, can't underestimate that. Okay, we got Sigurd up next, Legendary Sigurd. Now, here's an example of a unit where you would not want to run an Echo skill on, because I cannot think of a single situation where you'd run this guy and it would be for anything other than Holy Knight Aura. So, look what happens. We give him Deathblow Echo. The measly Deathblow Echo. Not even like Fleeting Echo. And bye-bye. We can't run our Holy Knight Aura anymore. So that's not happening. We're definitely running Holy Knight Aura on this guy. And this is the build I came up with, but he's got other options. So, Flared Sparrow, of course, for the damage. Flow Refresh is actually pretty clutch on him, because it gives him 40% DR, gives him recovery after combat, and does speed and defense -4 on the enemies. So a very nice combo of effects there. He gets a guaranteed follow-up already. So comboing that with the half a null follow-up effect there, he can break Wary Fighter. Flow Desperation would also be an option too, so he can hit the enemies twice in a row. And as long as they don't have guard, if he hits them twice in a row, he just pre-charges Holy Knight Aura. So that would also remove the need to have to run like Quicken Pulse on this guy to get him ready, which is nice. Alarm gives him access to Canto, and you could run Insight, I guess, but having Canto on a guy like this is definitely something we want to do. So that's why it's there. Other B-skill options, what is there? Flow Desperation I brought up. Flow Refresh is there. I think that's probably about it. I can't think of any other B-skill for melee calves besides, like, Trace, but we already got Canto covered. So this is probably the way you would want to go with him. Don't sleep on this guy, by the way. He's still really strong. Okay, we have Catria up next. Quote-unquote the best unit in the game up until Schism came out. So this would be my way to build her. Flared Sparrow for damage. Aerial maneuvers, so you can play like a bootleg Alencia and jump in, and then let allies jump in next to you. So that would be my way of doing it. Soaring Guidance and Aerial Maneuvers on a unit that quads. And her quad is better for these skills than Dual Strike from Cordelia, because instead of being adjacent to allies, you can be within 2 spaces of them with Catria. So the 2-space warping with Aerial Maneuvers and Soaring Guidance may still allow you to quad. And then Aerial Maneuvers would let you hit 4 times in a row. So something like this, I would be thinking for her. Deathblow Echo is an option. You could try also Oath Echo, but there's not really a point. It gives you the start of turn attack up 6, but she's already granting warping anyway on her weapon, so it's a moot point. Alright, then we got Dagger over here. Pretty much the same way built, or not built the same way as Dagger. Her weapon has bonus doubler built in, so instead of powering up based on debuffs, she powers up based on buffs. Again, Godlike Reflexes, Prime 4. Close Call 4 is better than... What was hers? Moon Twin Wing, I think it was? I don't even remember, but Close Call 4 is better up until her remix. Pledge and Echo to get double statuses, and then you just need 2 more to activate Prime 4, so there you go. Alright, we got Valentian Palla here, who is still a pretty devastating force to reckon with in Summoner Duels. So her Brave Attack adaptive damage combo has aged pretty good, and just her being a flying type unit in general. I gave her Aerial Maneuvers, but you could also give her Guard Bearing 4, which is really strong on her, considering she's kind of bulky. Not so much on res, but like defense is pretty good, so in melee matchups, having Guard Bearing is very strong on her. Prime 4 I went with here, because you're just getting the most attack. She doesn't care about speed, but like, this unit does care about having attack. So getting attack up 9 with this encounter would be very nice. Her Brave Attack is enemy phase as well. We're getting 2 status effects here with Echo and Snap for +1 movement and warping. So just 2 more and you get Prime 4 ready. So something like this, but also Soaring Guidance and Guidance 4 are options. Leonie, another unit that ate well. These range calves are just in a really good spot now after Gulvig's banner. So Insight, Flared Sparrow, Lull Speed and Defense 4, which has been in the game for a while already. I can't think of too many other B skills I would want to run on fast cavalry bow types. Like for slow ones, you can always go for Brash Assault 4, get a little DR from there, and get some augmented damage. But I think in this particular case, you probably want Lull Speed and Defense for more DPS. And then Deadeye and Darkbow, of course. Yeah, you're allowed to run perf weapons or arcane weapons with Echo skills, so that is nice. Alright, and then we got Summer Norn over here, another really nice unit to build up, a God Lance. Now, we did get the Ninja Saizo, but he's not available in Binding Worlds, so Arcane Lewin, Pledge Echo, Prime 4, Close Call 4, Godlike Reflexes. You're going to see similar builds or the exact same build on a lot of units in here. Alright, then we got Brave Erica, so kind of an underrated unit. People are sleeping on how effective her Refine actually was. It's pretty good. Gives her a lot of bulk, and then it also gave her some more stats, which she did want. She's in a different boat than the Brave Marth, where all they gave him was stats and not enough effects. Erica already had enough effects, she just needed some stats. So Ruptured Sky would be the special of choice. Flared Sparrow, Insight should go without saying. If you wanted to run an Echo skill, that costs you your Moonlight Bangle, which is not happening. So there you go. Now here's an interesting one. Okay, so Gatekeeper, we all know how strong, Canto Control, but also Warp Bubble is. His Refine also gave him all stats up 5 support and healing support to allies in 3 columns and 3 rows. So, technically, if you wanted to, you could run this guy without Warp Bubble. Although I wouldn't recommend it, you could. Give him Special Spiral 4 because really offense is the only thing his Refine was missing. He does have true DR based on defense. So like you give him Special Spiral 4. He's got Flare. He can nuke enemies with that. He's still providing Canto Control support. You could also go for Def Res Ploy or Attack Res Ploy support on him with the C skill. Bracing Stance is giving him Guard. And then I think he already has Guard though. But it gives him Defense and Res up 6. I can't think of a better A skill to give him anyway. Like maybe Ideal Defense Res, maybe. Actually, yeah, maybe. Maybe that's better because it's dual phase, right? And he's already got Guard built in. So I guess, sure, let's go for Ideal Defense Res. Kind of a weird, or not that one. Def Res Ideal, that's what we're looking for. Yeah, so something like that probably. But again, the thing is, you're picking up Special Spiral 4, doesn't mean you have to use it. You can still go ahead and give him his own B skill, the Detailed Report for Warp Bubble, and then you would take off your Echo skill. But this could be an option. As I brought up, he can still support with Kanto Control and the all stats of 5 and healing, and then he blows people up with Special Spiral 4. Okay, we got Brave Marianne up next, should go without saying. Very, very powerful and devastating unit. I've got Fleeting Echo and Flare on her, but you probably want to still run Requiem Dance with this unit, because that's one of her unique things. She can attack enemies and dance allies at the same time. So that would probably be what you would actually want to run, but just for variety and for the rarity of the skills, pick it up in Binding Worlds. And then Bonus Doubler 4, because she can't run Finish if you're running Requiem Dance. She can run Finish with other stuff, but not with Requiem Dance, because it doesn't do damage. So Bonus Doubler 4 gives her more stats and more bulk, which helps out when you've got 70% DR on weapon. Fleeting Echo, and then the combo of Magic Null Follow-Up and her Phantasm Tome already cutting DR in half. You get 75% DR cut, which is really sick. Alright, then we've got the Scion Leaf, who's also a pretty good unit here. We've got Flared Sparrow, Lull Speed and Defense 4, Insight. Pretty much the same build as we gave to Leonie. Now, you could give this guy Deadeye and then also give him Fleeting Echo if you want, but I can't think of too many reasons why you would run him without Nurin Zeal. He's one of the few units that can range attack with Gale Force, so you definitely want to be able to do that. And then we've got this guy over here, so Scion Levin, he's a 4-star demote, but he costs orbs, so plus 10 him at your own desire. But this is pretty much the build, like just a nuking Blue Tome build, Spiral 4, Finish 4, Time Spells 4. The idea would be to run a bigger cost special or an AoE. You could run like Blazing Wind on this guy, or you could go for Dragon Fang instead. But we got Flare, of course, because it's rarer than Dragon Fang. And then just to wrap us up, these are the final units I thought were valuable. So Yuri here, getting Disarm Trap 4 in Binding Worlds is nice. This guy is still at the forefront of Aether Raid's offense. He is one of the better enabler units in the game, where he can just step onto a trap and then foul play somebody in. Foul play is the reason we don't run Echo skills on him, although if you want to pick it up and you don't want to run foul play, then be my guest. But yeah, Fleeting Echo actually fixes a lot of his player phase issues. His weapon was only Kanto and +1 movement, pretty much. I think he gets attack and speed up 6 and -1 special trigger, but he's lacking a lot of effects. So having like Fleeting Echo, Special Spiral 4, Finish 4, it gives him a lot of the tools that can enable him to be a player phaser and a hit and run option with the Kanto 2 on weapon. So if you wanted to not run foul play, you give him Fleeting Echo, Special Spiral 4, and he can player phase to his heart's content. But having him as a utility unit with foul play is still more valuable in my opinion. So we're going to keep that going there. Okay, this unit is a monster now. So the same build we've been seeing on all these Tome Calves, pretty much on this unit with a guaranteed second action after attacking, is really dumb. And then Deathblow Echo. Yeah, surprisingly, Deathblow Echo won out over Fleeting Echo in this case, because this is a Brave Attack unit. They just want to do as much DPS as possible in their first round of combat. So they hit you twice, and they delete you with Deathblow. So what use is DR when you're not even going to get hit? Alright, we got Astrid over here as well, a rally bot unit. So Speed and Defense Ruse 4, very nice on Astrid. She's one of the better units of it because she grants +1 movement to non-range cavalry types after going ahead and rusing, dancing, or rallying on them. We should give her a rally skill here. It doesn't matter which one, just any one. And then she gives the bonus movement, she inflicts Schism, and then a bunch of other effects with Ruse 4, and then you can kind of player phase with her too with Flared Sparrow and Insight, Attack Speed, and Fleeting Echo. So, not a bad unit to pick up with this build if you see her in Binding Worlds. And then we have Marcia and also Tanith here, both Tellius flying babes. Now, the thing is, Marcia is in the Hall of Forms right now, so maybe you built her up in there and you were able to get, like, the God build there. If you weren't able to, though, then you can get a second chance in Binding Worlds and easily +10 this unit. Same thing goes for Tanith. They are both easy +10s. And I showed off some different builds on these two here. So Distance Solo, Aerial Maneuvers, Soaring Guidance versus Prime 4, Guard Bearing, and Rain Snap. So just two different takes, but both of these characters can run essentially the same exact build. except with a different weapon. That's the only thing. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Which Form of Soul units added in Book 5 are you looking forward to in Binding Worlds? And this is your boy Tatro signing out, so take care, fellas, and I'll catch y'all again on the flip side.